The ability to properly social distance in the classroom and other areas was the highest concern of our parents who responded to the survey, with 41% identifying it as a primary concern as their child returns to school. How will physical and social distancing be implemented as students return to campus?
Well, social distancing is an important part of the health and safety of adults and students. And as we plan to reopen schools on August 19, social distancing is a part of all of our thinking relative to the classrooms, relative to times when kids are in hallways together and how that's going to look. We have very specific plans in place to not just to encourage social distancing, but to all we can to ensure that it's actually being followed. You can tell right now, the two of us sitting here, we're at about a 5-foot table, maybe a 4.5-foot table or so. And if it were a typical year, and you and I were maybe 6th graders in this 6th grade classroom, I'd be sitting there and you'd be sitting right there. Well, we're not doing that now because we know that we want to create space as is practical and possible so that we encourage social distancing throughout the instructional day. That's why we're opposite each other. And that's a very important aspect. Some rooms have tables, just like at the high school. Some rooms have tables, some have desks. All those student seating areas and where the teacher's desk and teaching station is are all geared toward encouraging social distancing. It's critically important whenever students return to school that they relearn the school practices and processes. They have to relearn how to redo school. And that's particularly important this year because of having been out of school now since March, actually 13. Teachers are going to be asked to spend that first week of school helping students learn, teaching students how to navigate the classrooms and how to navigate those times when they are in passing times between classrooms. It will also include hand washing protocol, which is going to sound probably unusual or strange for older students, but you know what? They have to learn that too. And we have to set the tone and set the standards so that kids know what's expected of them. And honestly, one of the best things about Grand Rapids Christian Schools kids, they get it. And they're respectful, and they honor the rules and the procedures that our teachers teach them. It will go fine.
What will be done specifically for large group gatherings like chapel and assemblies?
You know, one of the unique, obviously, characteristics or qualities of Grand Rapids Christian is our corporate and small group chapels that occur throughout the course of every week. And those are critically important to our school community, and they're critically important for the upbringing and nurturing of faith in the lives of our students, no matter what their age is. Rather than the entire student body here at Grand Rapids Christian Middle School, for example, gathering in Village Square, it will be done in cohort groups. It'll be done perhaps at a grade level or perhaps just as a particular classroom. We will be streaming live chapels so that students in the classrooms will be enjoying chapel, but as a school community, the majority of students will be having that streamed in the classroom during chapel time, or perhaps recorded and then played back and uploaded back to the teacher to share. So it's just a different way of thinking about it, but it will be an important part of how we do business this year, like it always has been.
How will lunch be handled?
The food service department, our director of food service, Nancy Michaels, is planning very carefully how to create opportunities for no-touch lunch so that students will be able yet to purchase from our hot lunch department, but the salad bars will not be opened because we're going to not be having students, helping themselves to certain things from a salad bar. However, there will be options, and there will be plenty of opportunity for kids to be getting really great food. We are encouraging families to make lunches, and we are going to be instructing students not to share food. The food that their parents either pack for them or that they purchase for them through our food service department is their food, not theirs and their friends' food. We'll be staggering lunches so that we're discouraging large groups of kids from congregating together, and they'll be staggered to get their food and to bring it back. And we will continue the practice of all of our pre-K through 8 students eating with their teachers in the classroom.
What about going outdoors and recess?
Recess is a critically important, integral part of an elementary and in some cases even through middle school grade students. The kids need a break. And they've got to get out there and run off blow off some steam and run around and do all the cool fun things that kids do at recess time. At the elementary campuses, the principals are planning on identifying sections of playgrounds so that classrooms will be on recess together and they'll be at a designated area. Kids will have access to the entirety of the playground, but they're going to do so in designated sections as classrooms. The middle school, there will be recesses available here as well, but they'll be staggered and they will not be as an entire middle school. All of this to say is that we are planning ways to enjoy the important aspects of a child's school experience, and recess is definitely one of them. We're planning those in ways that will discourage large groups of kids, but encourage cohort, small groups of kids to play together and to stay together.
You've talked about this a little bit with this idea of cohorting. Can you tell us a little bit about what that means and how that will be implemented while on campus and in classes?
Cohorting is all about identifying or designating groups of students, i.e. a classroom, for example, and having that group stay together. We want to do all we can to discourage unnecessary spread of infection to larger groups of kids. The Kent County Health Department has said cohorting is really a standard that needs to be fully implemented upon students' return to school this fall. So it's all about small groups. It's all about reducing infection rates across multiple populations of kids.
What about specials and co-curricular type classes?
At the elementary level, all of the courses will continue as planned, and rather than the students being escorted to the gym or to the art room or to the computer lab, just say, all of those co-curricular teachers are going to be coming to the classroom. The middle school level, it's true as well. Most co-curriculars will be occurring within the general homeroom classroom. Now there's a couple of unique co-curriculars at the middle school level, and those are band and orchestra. It's very likely that students will be expected to go to band and orchestra spaces just because of the unique nature of band and orchestra instruction. We're still, I think, making plans about how art will be accomplished. We have really great art designated spaces in all of our buildings, and art at the elementary can be done in the classroom. Art in the older grades, sometimes the materials and things are so unique that they can't be transported very easily. Regardless of what we do relative to art or band and orchestra, know that we will be instituting the same health and safety protocols after each class, so that all materials will be wiped down so that when the next class comes in, it will have gone through a disinfecting